Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another Royal News video. So, I hope you're all doing well and you all had a lovely weekend. The hubby and I took the dogs down to a beach that we've not been to before. It's near Chichester. It's called West Wittering. It is one of the few sandy beaches in a fairly close driving distance for us. And we've never been able to park there because in the summer months, this place is packed for miles. But we decided to chance it on a nice winter's day. Took some lovely photographs. This is my favourite one of Leela. And we had a really lovely time. The weather was glacial. Now I know I can hear some of you in Canada going, she doesn't know what cold is. I do know what cold is, and this was -2, I believe it was, in the wind. I was wrapped up like a little burrito in my sleeping bag jacket, and it was just enough. It was a beautiful day out though, but I wanted to share a couple of the photographs. I know a lot of you guys are always asking after the dogs. They are both doing really well. So away from the dogs and the beach expedition, let's talk about the Princess of Wales, who for her 43rd birthday, the King has bestowed a very special present on the princess, and she can now bestow a very special honour on companies and organisations that have provided services or products through the royal household. This is a Royal Warrant. At the moment, it's only the King, Queen Camilla and the Prince of Wales that are able to issue these. So this is a big deal. Princess Diana didn't even get to issue Royal Warrants, and as we know, she was a huge fashion icon herself. To qualify for a Royal Warrant, they have to have supplied services to the palace for at least 5 years, and by order of the King, they must have a sustainable policy in place. Catherine, as I was saying, is the first Princess of Wales able to issue these warrants since Queen Mary, who issued Royal Warrants before King George V became king in 1910. When granted, the companies are then listed on the Royal Warrants Holders Association, and this allows them to use the royal coat of arms in association with their products. To say it gives companies an air of prestige is a slight understatement. It's a pretty high honour to be recognised as a company who has supplied goods and services to the royal households. This will be a huge boost to anyone the princess bestows this honour on, because we already have in place the Kate effect. Now, it's the only time I refer to her as Kate because I know that she prefers being called Catherine. But the Kate effect is a phenomenon that is very much real. And it all came in and started round about the run-up to the wedding to Prince William, when the sales of tights started skyrocketing. And ever since then, no matter what the princess wears, whether it's hats, whether it's bags, boots, earrings, you name it, the moment that she wears it, it will sell out within hours. Catherine may not have set out to be a fashion influencer, but she is certainly one regardless. A London-based jewellery company called Zoraida saw a 500% increase in their sales after one appearance at Wimbledon with Catherine wearing their earrings. They were just starting up their business at the time, and the lady said that she was so grateful for the exposure, but she had to say to clients, please can you wait, because she was still hand making each piece individually herself. Catherine, as you all know, is incredibly beautiful and graceful, and whether she is wearing a Jenny Packham ball gown, an Alexander McQueen tailored suit, or even if she's just wearing a blouse from a high street store, Zara, she looks phenomenal, and she is absolutely the best advert that any of these companies could ever ask for. I remember the storm that she created when she appeared on CBeebies reading that children's book, The Owl That Was Afraid of the Dark. She was wearing a Holland & Cooper Fair Isle print jumper. People went nuts trying to get their hands on that, and everywhere just sold out immediately. This is the effect that Catherine has on the fashion industry. They have said that Catherine is worth billions to the British fashion industry because everything that she touches just kind of sparkles and turns to gold, doesn't it? Quite the opposite to the other one, that everything she touches turns to So, of course, the fact that Catherine is dynamite for any brand, any organisation that is given the princess's seal of approval will certainly enhance their sales further without a doubt. And it's not just the Princess of Wales. Prince William has definitely upped the stakes in fashion as he has got older. There's definitely been a boom with male fashion when it comes to the Prince of Wales when he rocks up, say, for example, wearing one of these velvet jackets. There was a mass increase of people buying these dinner jackets, which look lovely. And it's not just Bond that managed to increase the sales, I have to say. Daniel Craig did look rather dashing himself as he looked adoringly at our princess. Many people say that, they get so starstruck when they meet actors, but it's so lovely to see actors becoming so starstruck when they meet Catherine. Another thing that Prince William chooses to do with his fashion choices is he will wear brands that are about sustainability, the same as his father, King Charles. It could be a recycled tie made out of plastic bottles. It could be a particular brand of suit or shirt or shoes that he's wearing. We saw recently at the Earthshot Prize with his trainers, which seemed to garner quite a lot of attention. It's another way that Prince William can help highlight causes that are important and close to his heart, but it's also then making a statement for the responsibility, the environmental responsibility for fashion houses and fast fashion. Even their children have become little fashion influencers, as thankfully lots of parents are choosing pretty and classic styles for their little ones these days. You see it more and more. Princess Charlotte is already becoming a style icon in her own right. But as I said, with the Prince and Princess of Wales as your parents, these children are not just genetically blessed, they are also blessed in the fashion department. When I think back to me being little and I've got, I don't know, I would say they were luminous shell suits with a Mickey Mouse top, my hair in bunches, wearing neon coloured hairbands, big thick green glasses. I had NHS glasses. They weren't like they are now. They're quite stylish, but when I was a kid, they were quite bad. So obviously, with Catherine now having the availability to bestow royal warrants, which is a huge, as I said, it's a huge compliment to any of these companies. It boosts their sales. It's great for British brands. But when they lose a royal warrant, especially after having them for a number of years, it can be quite damaging, as Cadbury's recently found out, who had held the royal warrant for 170 years. But I've got my own issues with Cadbury's chocolate. They've got cheap, they've got tight, they've increased their cost tenfold while gradually reducing the amount of chocolates, say, in the Christmas tins. They look awful, they look tacky. At least many years ago, we used to get the nice metal tins, didn't we, as well? They deserve to lose the warrant as far as I'm concerned, because they've increased their prices to extortionate levels and their quality has definitely gone downhill. So Cadbury's Now, another company to have recently lost their royal warrants is Elizabeth Arden. Princess Diana famously increased the popularity of the brand because she used to swear by their magical 8-hour cream. But unfortunately, recently, her youngest son almost sullied the brand, I will say, because in Spare, it was honestly one of the creepiest and most embarrassing parts of Harry's many, many tell-alls. And just to remind you, here's a clip.
My penis was oscillating between extremely sensitive and borderline traumatized. The last place I wanted to be was Frostnipistan. My mum used that on her lips. You want me to put that on my todger? It works, Harry. Trust me. I found a tube, and the minute I opened it, the smell transported me through time. I felt as if my mother was right there in the room. Then I took a smidge and applied it. Down there.
I can't imagine Elizabeth Arden really appreciated the association with Harry's blue frosted todger. Honestly, I don't know how anybody advising him thought that was a good thing to keep in. That's obviously not had an effect as to why they lost the warrant. They do sometimes just decide to give warrants to other organisations. Who knows? Perhaps they're not as sustainable as Charles would like them. So let's move away from blue frosted Todgers, the Royal Warrants. And let's talk about two people that definitely warrant the backlash that they have been receiving. Harry and Meghan have been given some new nicknames and none of them are particularly favourable. Ambulance chasers, disaster tourists, tragedy vultures are just a few that are floating. Obviously, the backlash has been pretty intense. Lots of people have been tearing into them, but then you have some people defending them, saying they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. The fact that Harry and Meghan care enough to volunteer speaks 1,000 words. But the thing is, they weren't really as much as volunteering as what they were looking for the camera crews. And people aren't really disgusted with them because they went and volunteered. It's the fact that they decided to take a tour across the ruins of people's homes and they wanted to go meet the emergency workers that are out there to thank them. Like, that's going to make a difference to anybody's day. It took people away from their jobs. Lots of people have compared it, oh, well, members of the royal family do this. They do not turn up in the middle of an ongoing disaster knowing that it will take resources away from the people that need it most. But of course, Mayor Gordo says that they weren't there asking for attention, as Meghan serves up food next to Sarah Newsom, the wife of the governor of California. And the media were there filming Sarah Newsom, obviously trying to get some positive coverage for her family and her beleaguered husband in all of this. But don't worry, Meghan and Harry were in disguise. They had their masks on. And it's a mask. It's about as much as a disguise as Clark Kent wearing glasses. Then, of course, Victor Gordo said that they were there undercover as they pose for group photos. Everybody come gather round. We're only in the middle of one of the worst disasters, the worst wildfires to hit the state of California. And they think, oh, this is a great time. Yeah, let's line up all of our white trainers that don't have a speck of dirt or dust on them and let's smile for the cameras. This is one to keep for the family photo albums. Not. As for Meghan being the one herding people as well, we all know, don't we, after Centre Barley, that Meghan doesn't like anyone standing near Harry and she has to be in the centre. I honestly do not understand how the mayor could turn around and say that they didn't want attention, as Meghan was stood there looking like a complete nutcase at times, pinging round like she had been fired out of a pinball machine. She looked completely lost, trying to look like that she was doing something whilst doing absolutely nothing. Now compare that erratic behaviour to when Meghan and Harry are leaving. Look at them walk past normal civilians. These are not LA officials. These are not people of importance. This isn't Chef Jose Andres, who founded the World Central Kitchen. These are normal people, no doubt affected by these awful wildfires. Meghan walks straight past them like they do not exist, even an elderly gentleman in a wheelchair. She's got her money shots. She doesn't care anymore. It was only when the camera then continued to follow them a little bit further round the corner. Remember, Meghan then put her arm around the girl when Harry notified her that someone was there filming them that obviously they were not expecting. No other celebrities have toured people's burnt down homes and trampled over what's left of their belongings. No other celebrities have been photographed posing for group photos with LA officials and Gavin Newsom's wife. Needless to say, this has not gone down well with Americans. In fact, I would say that's a little bit of an understatement, including celebrities. Filmmaker and actress Justine Bateman, sister of Jason Bateman, put the couple on blast on X. She said Harry and Meghan are no better than ambulance chasers. What a repulsive photo op they achieved. They are touring the damage. Are they politicians now? They don't live here. They are tourists. Disaster tourists. And that's exactly what they are. They live 200 miles away and they were there touring the ruins of people's homes that haven't been allowed to come back and see if they can salvage anything. And you've got those two traipsing around what's left of the foundations of your property. Harry and Meghan, not taking this insult lying down, quickly got one of their lackeys to run off to Page 6 and defend the couple. The source told Page 6 it's offensive for Meghan and Harry that anybody would think that this was merely a photo opportunity. The Duchess is not a tourist. Her heart has been completely broken for all the lives that have been lost and for whose homes have been destroyed in these fires. Well, as I said, maybe clambering over the ruins of what's left of these people's homes wasn't a good look. They, meaning Harry and Meghan, have put in countless hours to volunteering long before the media even caught wind of their involvement. Considering that the media outlet that were there, the ones that called her Princess Markle, they actually let slip, oh, we were notified of Meghan and Harry's arrival. Oh, we were then notified that Harry and Meghan had been here earlier in the day. Now, you think with all of the backlash and everything that these two have done over the last couple of days, that would have been enough. But no, that wasn't enough for Meghan. She needed to get more attention on herself. In a moment that truly left me flabbergasted, Sky News, you see this reporter stood there around her, and breaking news comes up. The Duchess of Sussex has delayed her Netflix show. You're literally reporting from the epicenter of what is hell for many people, and that becomes breaking news. Has any other program been delayed, the release been postponed by Netflix, and it warrants breaking news headlines in the middle of this reporter meant to be covering, as I said, one of the worst disasters? No. So Meghan has delayed the release of her Netflix show. Oh no, how will everybody cope? And that's the thing. It's a cooking show. It's a narcissistic vanity project for Meghan. What difference does it make if you release it in 2 days' time or 2 months' time? That almost gives it an air of importance, which it quite clearly does not have. Does she think, or do Netflix think, that all of these people that have been affected by these awful wildfires just need, I don't know, was it 8 weeks to get over it, and then they'll tune in to watch this show of Meghan's? Now, it's been made clear that Meghan is the one that delayed it. How do we know this? Because Meghan decided to make sure the headlines were definitely on her, and she put out a statement, not just allowing Netflix to quietly shelve it for a couple of months. Meghan decided that everybody needed to hear her voice as well. I'm thankful for my partners at Netflix for supporting me in delaying the launch as we focus on the needs of those impacted by the wildfires in my home state of California. But it's that air of importance again, as we focus. I'm sorry, who is we? You and Harry, two civilians. You're not politicians. You're not anybody of any influence or importance. You think to yourself, what else is she going to do to milk this awful situation? Because I don't think she's done yet, and she certainly never reads the room. But isn't it completely hypocritical, the fact that they wouldn't delay Oprah despite Prince Philip was dying and in hospital? We're not going to delay it because the royal family are using Prince Philip's illness to try and silence and muzzle Meghan. That didn't look too good, did it, when he died a matter of weeks later? But of course, Harry's never had a conscience over that, clearly. And then Meghan, with the Cuts magazine that she did, that article, she was still putting threats towards the elderly Queen, who everybody could see. You could see after the Jubilee that, I hate to say it, but she didn't have too long for this world. Many people predicted she wouldn't last long without Philip. And it was basically a year later. I'm going to make myself well up now. But the fact is that Harry and Meghan still continued the attacks on their family despite the illnesses. And as we've seen with King Charles, with Catherine, Meghan decides to launch RO. You know, these two do not care about people that are in their own family, let alone strangers. So I don't believe that suddenly Meghan feels that it would be insensitive to air it. There's obviously something more at play. Some people believe it's the perfect excuse for Meghan to sort out her trademark issues because, remember, she's meant to be merching products alongside the release of this show. She's had a few difficulties because of the name, and they've obviously launched With Love Meghan. Is she now trying to sort something out so Netflix can help her sell the wears and tears that will no doubt feature in the show? That's one theory. Another theory is the fact that Netflix pulled it because Netflix people at the top apparently have a conscience and feel that this would actually be really insensitive, and they've allowed Meghan to say it was her that did it, you know, to make her sound really gracious. I think we all know that Meghan's not a very gracious person. I think that she is going to be very uptight that her show has been shelved even for a couple of months. Now, I believe that Netflix would possibly be better striking while the iron is hot. Meghan has attracted a lot more media attention in her direction over the last couple of days. Some of it obviously very, very negative, but then that might might inspire more people to hate watch the show. People that want to see the disaster that is Meghan on camera. Maybe some people just enjoy poking fun at them. Perhaps more people have drank the Kool-Aid of the American media and the other media outlets that have been pushing Meghan being the saint that she is, going around hugging people for the last, couple of days. That's all been pushed. And of course, this is the image that was pushed the most. Oh, look, Meghan comforts fire victims. Meghan comforts volunteers. No, Meghan's actually hugging just a member of their entourage in full view of the camera, but it gave her the shots, the caring and compassionate with love Meghan that she needed. Another theory is people think that Meghan has worn down Netflix and is finally getting what she wants, where they've used the disaster as an excuse. Meghan was reportedly furious over the backlash that the trailer got, so Meghan was demanding that people were sacked. She wanted to reshoot and re-release another trailer. Netflix said no, and now obviously this is an opportunity for Meghan to say, hey, I want to do a few more bits. But many other people were commenting saying it's probably not just a trailer. She probably wants to add in a few extra things to the show. Perhaps she'll add in extra footage of Meghan showing love to and sharing recipes with some of her fellow Californians. As they sit there in a circle telling Meghan the horrors that they've endured of the wildfires, Meghan can then do a sickly sweet voiceover telling everybody that it's her love of food and connection that brought the community together. I think we all know that we could see Meghan doing something as tone deaf as that. Now, of course, the big final theory is the fact that Netflix never wanted to do this show. They were forced basically to air it because of contractual obligations, and they've now seen that this is an opportunity to postpone it and then shelve it eventually, because as I said, 2 months time, the 4th of March, that's 49 days away. People, unfortunately and sadly, are still going to be fighting with their insurance companies in 49 days' time and living in temporary accommodations. I failed to see how postponing it 49 days is going to have an effect at all on the viewership or the backlash. I personally think that they should just have gone ahead with it. They should have just aired it. Some people, as I said, will hate watch it. Some people will watch it because it's a mindless TV show. Sometimes people like those shows where it's a bit of escapism. Some people might watch it because they genuinely were excited to watch Meghan dangle her hair into store-bought ice cream as she elevates it by putting mint leaves on it. You never know really what floats people's boats. People have guilty pleasures of what they'd like to watch. I think postponing it just for a couple of months and doing a big announcement just makes Meghan look even worse, because it's made her put herself in the headlines over a show that, let's be honest, nobody cares if it ever sees the light of day, other than, of course, Meghan herself. So guys, that's it for me on this video. I will be back with you very soon, where we have got to talk about Harry and Meghan's self-importance is off the scale now. It's off the charts. It is absolutely blasting up quicker than a rocket into space. So I will be back with you soon with some more royal news, and then of course the ex-royals of Montecito. Take care for now. Bye.